everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to another great episode of ROCKn, TAKn. This is a solo interview with your host, Kelly B, the Pop Pixie, and very special guest, George Call of ASKA, BANSHEE, and CLOVENHOOF. Thank you so much for tuning in. Grab your joints, grab your beers, whatever it is you got, your coffee, sit down and enjoy another great interview by Kelly B, the Pop Pixie. RFL Records brings it to you, and now in conjunction with AMG TV. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and supporting as always, and enjoy the show. Hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. It's Kelly V, the Pop Pixie here. I got a great ROCKn, TAKn interview solo with George Call of ASKA, BANSHEE, and CLOVENHOOF. We're just waiting for him to connect now. I'm the only one here. I'm the only one here. I wish I was a musician or something. Yay! Oh, wonderful. We should be hearing him momentarily. Hey, how are ya? Oh, you might have to click audio. I can't hear you. Wait. How about now? No? I can't hear you. Why? No. Why is that? Oh, wait. How about now? No? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Apparently you can hear me. This is bad. So I guess we'll just chill out and watch me drink some coffee because, you know, it does make me feel very less murdery. Here it comes. No video. You got good video. No. Yay. Ha.
We're in business now.
All right. How are you doing?
I am great. How are you?
Up and down, really good actually. Where are
Look,
you? Where are you at right now?
I'm in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex area here in Texas.
In
You
Texas. Wow. So
know,
is everything shut down? Awesome.
yeah, it's shut down to a degree. You
Mm.
know, we still have you know somewhat of a lockdown state in the sense that you still have to wear masks. Venues can't do their business as usual unless they serve food, that kind of thing. But
Wow.
for the most part, our state is one that is far more, even though we're a conservative state, we're far more liberal when it comes to pandemic protocol. And, we basically can get by with things that a lot of the other states struggle with on the day to day.
Yeah, we're in complete lockdown and it's like only essential stores are open. So grocery stores or pharmacies and there's a curfew supposedly. We're not really following it. I think it's frustrating. It's like we should just lock it all down for a month or two or just not. Like make up your mind
Right.
kind of, right?
Right.
We can't make up our mind. Yeah, so are you actually able to play?
I've done since the COVID pandemic hit. We've done 2 shows. I've done them with ASKA. Clearly, no dice with CLOVENHOOF. They are in a major lockdown in England, and
Mm,
being that I'm the only American member of the band, um, there's no going over there. They're not
mm.
getting out of the country anytime soon. So it would seem.
I just interviewed John Gallagher of Raven, and somehow he got over there to help his girlfriend with her broken toe, and he just flew. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah,
Get
you can get in, but you can't. I think it's a lot
out.
to get out. Yeah, they'd have to quarantine. I don't
Yeah.
know if they're even allowed to fly out of the country. It's a whole different set of rules out there, but certainly there's no touring going on, and
No.
that completely precludes me from being over there or heading that way or setting anything up for the foreseeable future. But we have started working on the follow up to Age of Steel. So,
Nice.
yeah, in every dark cloud, there's a silver lining.
Exactly. I was just gonna ask you about that. Yeah, if you guys are working on anything. And how difficult is it doing that, being from another country and
Well, as you know, technology has made that easier. But before we get into that, I just want to say, since you mentioned the John Gallagher interview, I saw that interview. I thought it was fantastic.
thank you.
I'm a long time Raven fan, and of
Yeah.
course, a more recent Kelly fan.
Thank you.
So, I enjoyed your interview, and
Thank you.
it was cool that John's out there, but I don't think he's getting out anytime soon.
No, I don't think so either. And I do so hope you come on to the show with Lips because he's so much fun.
I would like to, just shoot me the details, and now that I've got this Zoom thing figured out,
It is a bitch, right? And it's like it instantly records, so it makes you look like a dumbass for the first 5 minutes. Like,
you know what? It's not bad though. It's user friendly. I mean, I was able to get on with minimal. I mean, I guess we were having that little audio problem right at the start, but it's all good. It's all close enough for rock and roll, as they say, right?
right, right. I guess that's all that matters. Yeah. What are you doing with ASKA? You're doing something recently, I saw.
Well, we did. Like I said, we did a couple shows here during this pandemic thing. We played the Dallas Power Fest 2 in November. And then more recently, we did a show here at a place called Mavericks in Arlington, Texas, home of Pantera. And
Nice. Yes.
it was cool. It was cool to get out. People came out, had a really good time. I still think the pandemic kind of scares some people. People are iffy about attending live events. And then again, though, those that were there loved it. It was pretty solid turnout. I don't think it was like a full turnout as in the pre-COVID days, but nonetheless, people got out, had a good time.
Yeah, I bet.
for people to come out and see original bands too, it's it's really cool.
What it's all about. It's what it's all about. I think I mean, if you're over 18, if you're using caution, if you're not, if you don't go, if you don't feel good, I don't know. We're in such a state of lockdown, and it's such an anxiety ridden thing, like New Year's I literally cried because there was nowhere to go.
Are you in Toronto? You're in Toronto,
Just
right?
outside of Toronto, yeah. And they actually canceled Christmas, quote unquote. Like you weren't allowed to go visit
Really?
your family or anything.
Oh yeah.
You could be.
I'll tell you this though. I did. We played Toronto a couple years ago.
It's great.
Beautiful city. I loved it. Enjoyed it. Met some fans and made friends with them, and just had a great time in Toronto. And
Toronto has an
looking forward to
amazing.
getting back there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. When everything opens back up, hope to be able to get up there. That was a funny story though. We were coming up there to do a show in Toronto. This was with CLOVENHOOF, and one of the bands on the bill that had been initially booked by the promoter said, "What? Those CLOVENHOOF guys? They're coming? Forget it. We won't play because they're just too radical and they're fascists and right wingers and extremists." We're like, okay, stay home, get another band. Everything that we were being accused of, for starters, is not true. We're human beings like anybody else. We have our own political opinions and expressions. It doesn't mean that it negates or takes away yours. It doesn't mean we hate anybody that has a different view. I wish things could go back like to when you remember you used to pop in a movie on the VHS player or the DVD player, and right at the start, after the FBI warning and all that, it would say the views and comments expressed in the video are not those of whatever Universal Pictures or Paramount or 20th Century Fox, whatever the movie house was. Right. They're not our views; they're the views of the people expressing them, and that's that. It's a disclaimer, right? And basically saying, hey, you're allowed to state your views, you're allowed to have your opinions. It doesn't reflect on us. It doesn't mean it's us. And man, that's I think the world pretty much ran that. The United States, Canada, certainly, we ran that way for years, for decades, with no problem. Yeah. And suddenly now we have this cancel culture that wants to crucify anybody that just thinks differently than them. Yes. And I'm sorry, I'm not having it. I'm not playing it. Not down with it. If you want to cancel me, watch out, because I'll cancel you right back.
Exactly. I can't believe that. I can't believe, did you actually stand up to it, or did you just let it go?
Well, no, we played the show. We did the show.
Oh, you did play the show. Yeah.
So we played the show, and we did it with bands that wanted to be on the bill, and it was brilliant. It was an awesome show. Toronto rocked our world.
Do you remember where it was?
Man, oh my God. It was a 30-day tour, back to back, no breaks. I think on that entire tour, maybe we had 2-3 days off. So everything tended to blend together. Yeah. So I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but it was a cool club on the side of a road, and you kind of walked in, went down 2 flights of stairs. I remember that. And it's kind of in the basement, like a basement club. But it was really cool. It was a packed house. All great bands that night. Yeah. And cool promoter. Great band, great vibe.
The sad thing is that we have a really great scene here. We have a really loyal fan base. It's really big. We have a lot of great bands. It's just Canadian radio. You have to pay 40% Canadian music. 30% of more of that content has to be within the last 3 months. So if I'm doing a show and I get to play 10 songs in an hour, I might get to pick 2 songs I actually want to play. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think, and also the struggle to get from Canada to America, where metal is really promoted, right? Because you have to pay the international stupid fees, right?
I remember. I'll tell you what. I remember coming into Canada because we went in 2019. We went in 2020,
Oh,
and the
wow.
first time we breezed through no problem at customs at the border. The second time we were probably detained for about 3 hours while they searched every nook and cranny. Of course, we made the mistake of the first time we entered through, Toronto there in that area, whatever that entrance is there. And the second time we went through a more remote, entry point, which was, I think, in Quebec. Um, and they really, rolled us through the court.
Yeah, they don't like Americans and they don't like English speaking people. Quebec is kind of its own. It actually wanted to separate from Canada.
Yeah, I remember that the
It's like
secessionist movement, the separationists, because of the French.
foolishness,
Uh,
foolishness,
I'll tell you what, though, that was our only problem with
Montreal's
the
a
band.
hoot.
Yeah, yeah, but our only problem in coming in there into, I guess, is that Ontario?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just there at the border crossing. Once we were in, the people were great.
Mm-hmm.
The fans were brutal. The bands were killer.
Yeah.
And we played with the band called Raptor. God, what were they? But great bands. I mean, the names escape me. I'm getting old. I'm getting the Joe Biden syndrome here. I can't remember anything.
Lordy. I mean, you just got the worst of two different worlds there. I really feel sorry for America. I just came back too in September, the end of September, October, right? So I like get to watch all this craziness from this side of the border, and I'm like, that's all I could say about that,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'll tell you.
And it's something that you brought up just people insinuating that racism, it is so prevalent across the USA. It is really real. It is trying to promote metal in like certain places, or trying to bring jazz to Texas. Fuck that. You know what I mean? It ain't coming. It ain't coming. And I'm Canada is so multicultural. Do you think New York or Washington are the more, populated parts of the US, right? Where it's a pride of ours, right? But yeah, it's a real divide. And I think that current politics have made it worse.
Right.
Like if you think on one side, then you're racist automatically. Like you get lumped into this whole big world if you think on one side or the other, right? That maybe only one or two things might apply to you, right? You can't agree with it all.
What I have to say about that, just like there are, I mean, and not to excuse evil in the world or excuse wrong or whatever, but the bottom line is, ideally, we all want to be free people in a free world. And if you're going to offer that, if that's what's on the table, then you have to allow freedom for all. It doesn't matter if this guy likes, if he wants to, wear women's clothes and worship Satan in his spare time while he's,
harming nobody. Who the fuck cares?
As long as nobody is being hurt, as long as you're not, I guess my way of thinking as an American is, as long as you don't infringe on my right to life, liberty, or my pursuit of happiness, I don't care what you do.
I know.
I really don't care what you do. I mean,
and I'm so surprised that people get so bothered about what somebody else is doing in their little house down the street that they have to get.
It's worse than that, Kelly, because they're not concerned about what they're doing. They're concerned about what they're thinking.
Saying, doing. Yeah, exactly.
The problem is they want to regulate your thought process. Thought, and that will never happen. I don't need a government entity in my head. I don't need Big Brother. I certainly don't need some woke fan saying, well, you think this way, so I don't like you anymore. Well, then don't like me. I don't like you either then. I mean,
Have you ever engaged one of those retarded fans just because, you're sitting around stoned and you're like, I got nothing better to do, but just indulge this for a second,
Well,
right?
for starters, I have to say I've never been stoned a day in my life, so
Okay,
I
sorry.
can't relate. You don't have to apologize because again, what I just told you, I'm a live and let live. If you want to get stoned, man, have at it. You're not harming anybody. Do your thing.
Yeah.
If a neighbor wants to, man, that's his business. That's not my problem. If I don't want to, that's my, right. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I'm just curious. Like, have you ever just read one of those
But
and then decided
absolutely,
I'm
I
gonna
often
see
engage.
what their Facebook page is about and see what kind of craziness is coming at me, right?
What my philosophy on that has always been, as much as I want the right to have my thinking and be allowed to think however it is I want to think, as long as it doesn't harm anybody or limit their pursuit of happiness or their life or liberty, like I said earlier. As much as I want that for me, I also want that for them as well. I want them to be able to freely express, to think whatever they want to think, to be whoever they want to be. And, that entails when somebody of a different political view than me posts something on my page, you're welcome. You're welcome to it. Have at it. Enjoy. Say your piece. Make your eloquent argument. Back your stance. Explain to me why this is good. And I have no problem with somebody's opinion because I understand that it's exactly that. It's an opinion. Everybody has one. Everybody has one. Some agree, some disagree. And I don't hate anybody simply for having a different opinion than me. I don't want to cancel anybody for having a different opinion than me. I don't want to shut anybody down or limit their speech or stop them from expressing, being, doing any of that.
There are some things that have been said recently on the show or in private afterwards, like COVID's a hox. And I know that's not true because I know people who've died from it. So but it's like my heart breaks. I want you to have your own opinion, but I also want to change your mind because you're obviously not protecting yourself and I care about you as a person. But it's like I hear that's the one thing I think recently where I just want to say, oh my God, please change your mind.
Yeah. Right. Here's what I would say to people that say that it's a hoax. It is 100% absolutely, in my opinion, and keep in mind, I'm a conservative right-wing guy. I don't believe it's a hoax by any stretch of the imagination. It's a real disease. It's a real virus.
It's being manipulated by powers that be, just like anything would be in that grander scale. So I'm not even surprised that it is, right? Yeah. But it's
being manipulated politically to achieve certain ends. And because of that, the reaction to it has been overblown. And, there's a definite overreaction about it. But is it a deadly virus that really exists and can kill people? 100%. Yeah. 100%. And I think again, but here's the thing too. It's been, this lockdown stuff has now been, we're going on a year, right, of lockdowns. Yeah. I think it started in March, I believe. And here we are now at the start of February. We're almost at the year point. And in that entire year, I've known one, maybe two people personally, or, that were fans or from other bands that died. Yes. So is it the deadly, all-time deadly pandemic that they're making it out to be? No.
Probably not.
Is it a deadly pandemic? Yes. Is it deadly? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Is it as deadly as the bubonic plague of no, the Dark Ages, Middle Age Europe? No. Is it as strong as an Ebola outbreak in an African village? No, absolutely not. An Ebola outbreak will kill half the people in that village, if not more. Half the people that are infected will die from Ebola. Yeah. Most of 99%, whatever, of the people that are infected with COVID will survive, but it will kill a healthy person or in their 30s or 40s.
I was talking to somebody who had an upcoming thing, and they had like a 2 or 3% chance of this going horribly wrong, and it was consuming their whole psyche,
Mhm.
right? That's a very small percentage. That's the kind of small percentage that we're dealing with, and yet it's destroying people's psyche.
Yeah.
The fear behind it is so powerful. But I also live in a city. Most people don't realize how big Toronto is. There's millions of people here.
Huge. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge.
And so the hospitals are already like, if you're healthy, you just had a baby at 6 a.m., you'll be out by 4.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no bed space anyway. So you add a problem like this, it's just pandemonium, right? And
Yeah.
I think that's where the problem lies in the major populated places. It's just we can't handle it, right?
Mhm.
That's the panic. That's the fear.
Did you hear what happened in Italy recently? Of course, Italy was hit pretty hard.
Pretty hard, yeah.
One of the countries that lost a lot of people. And but here, again, going on near a year lockdown, some of the restaurateurs, they can't stay closed another day without losing their livelihoods, their businesses, their
Right.
restaurant, their way to feed their families. So they all got together and against the government orders, decided to open for business, all of them at the same time. And the government just kind of threw up their hands and said, "Oh, I guess, what are we going to do? Are we going to arrest them all?"
A few businesses tried to do that, and they're $500,000 fines
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
jail time. Yeah.
It's
So I mean,
insane.
is it worth it? You would have to have a huge number like that, like you said, to overwhelm them.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. But I mean, what I mean, I think there are no good solutions. I mean, the well off, the wealthy, I mean, yeah, they can take a year off, 2 years off, no problem. But working class people, which dare say includes probably most of the bands out there peddling and purveying metal,
Yeah.
they got to get back to work, man. I went from touring, from being in Europe 3 times a year to touring across the States into Canada, um, year round, um, to 2 shows in basically a year period. That's insane.
Exactly. And people think, and I hear this even from my friends currently, and I know this to not be the case, of how little money you actually make for that tour. It sounds like a lot of money. It sounds like, rock stars, you got a YouTube video? You must be a millionaire. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, 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 not even close, right?
You know what?
And
It's a job like anybody else's, and unless you hit, say, Bruno Mars status or what's the Katy Perry or somebody, unless you hit those levels, then yeah, then you'll be filthy rich.
you know,
Otherwise, you're just another working stiff, and you want
exactly.
to you got to play. You got to get out there and make that money, sell your merch, meet the fans, do your thing, and otherwise you're just like everybody else. Um,
Exactly. I mean, I think it was interesting that Lips explained to me, even somebody like ACDC, it costs $1 million per show, when everybody's paid and they've paid the 20 trailers of truck trailers of equipment and people behind them, they're only making money off their merch, truly, just like every other
I think
band.
he
They're
might be
making
off
a
on that
fuck
though.
ton of money off their merch, but like, yeah.
Yeah, because ACDC they make bank. The bottom line, whatever it does cost to take that show on the road. That's why the tours are so long. But the last I heard, ACDC was per show. Um, the gross was like 2.5 million per show, and that includes ticket revenues, merch sales, all that. And so let's say even if it costs them, 500, I can't imagine that it costs that much to put on that show every night. But once it's factored in for the across the tour,
You're looking at
they're,
over a
they are
million
making
dollars
bank.
for the production of one show. Lips is
How much? Like,
explaining the whole thing to me, and the entire production for one big arena show like that is over $1 million per show. So yes, really, when it's all said and done, they're working like every other band, making all their money off their merch as well, but they're making a fuck ton more than everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Well, I
just,
think even like with a band like AC/DC, even if their cost per show, let's say Lips is right on the money. It's $1 million per, and that's a big production. If you're spending $1 million per show, you're talking a massive production. Which, and I mean, I hate to, disagree or whatever, but I don't think his numbers are right. But assuming, let's play devil's advocate, his numbers are right. AC/DC spending $1 million per show. They're still making 1.5 after their cost, and they're doing,
right.
if they're doing 50 dates, 75 dates, that's still, well
it's a
over
lot of money
$8
to us,
billion
yes, but
that
I
they're
think,
making and they're still bringing
yeah,
in.
I think it, I don't
And
know.
there's money. I'll tell you, because here, none of the bands I'm in are huge bands, or I mean, they're, we're more. All of my bands are considered underground. Even though Banshee was on MTV and had records on Atlantic, none of the bands are considered. I think they're all kind of underground, and still, every tour I've gone on, I've come back with a wad of cash.
Yeah.
Pack of money in that I come back with, and I'm doing okay. And I budget that, and I make do until the next. I mean, these things, these Ace Frehley Gibson,
they're not cheap, huh?
they're not they're not free, or they're not cheap. But
and I mean, I was often shocked with the day jobs of musicians, and honestly, what they did. That metal musicians actually had really high quality, high paying jobs in, tech fields, or, because we're not stupid, right? You know what I mean?
Have at one time. I've worked jobs in my time, while continuing to do rock and roll. I've had, full-time jobs. I've had part-time jobs. I've had, on and off in between throughout the years. Right now, since COVID hit, I've been working a job part-time as well to help make ends meet while I'm losing all of my touring income and that entails. But you do what you have to do, and at the end of the day, I think playing music has always been a it's something, it's a passion, right? It's something we enjoy. Most musicians, we love to do. We don't do it because, it's a job or a chore. This is something we do anyway. We enjoy it. We like it.
You have to do it.
The fact that we've figured out a way to get paid to do it, that's brilliant. And those musicians that, come home broke or empty-handed, I say, man, learn to budget better, or maybe temper your vices while on the road. I remember in the early days of ASKA, when we were touring overseas, we would do all kinds of cost-cutting measures, like we would double and triple, quadruple up to a room.
Yeah.
We would, get the cheapest meal possible. We were into these real drastic cost-cutting measures, so we could go home at the end of the tour with as much money as possible. In later years, we realized, hey, wait a minute, the end of the tour is not the goal. Life is the train ride, right? So, and that tour is part of your life's journey. Exactly. So you might as well, why scrimp on that? You might as well enjoy your time while you're out there, but be smart about it.
I think it's probably 50-50. I think, you got to be a little smart, but you actually have to live it. And I've seen some people's schedules where, you're going from town to town. You have no time to even go outside for a coffee and look at the city you just happened to be at. You're like, oh, we were just there? Cool. Right? Yeah. And you're gone. And I think that it would be so much healthier for the band to have a day or two in these epic cities they go to just to relax. It would put on a better show.
It would be, unfortunately, the economic reality of that, when you're not on a Kiss AC/DC level, when you're more on an Anvil level, Banshee, CLOVENHOOF, whatever, Raven, you're doing these back-to-back dates because that's the only way it's financially feasible. If you have days off in between all your shows, that's an additional hotel, food, fuel that you have to pay that gets factored into the overall that gets deducted from the overall earnings of the tour. Now you've got to pay for these days off. So they're not really days off. They're days you could have been working, in other words, playing, gigging, that you're now, being a tourist. And what do tourists do? Spend money. It costs you money. You go on vacation, it costs money, and it's no different for us. So if we can get it in, like several years ago, I remember playing ASKA playing Hawaii, and and we were like, man, we're in Hawaii. We'll have 2-3 days here, and then we're out to whatever the next place was.
How much did that cost you?
Well, it didn't cost us anything. We were on tour, so we were making money. But
how much did you spend?
While we were there, oh man, that was in the 90s. I couldn't begin to remember. but I do remember this. We were there. We're like, okay, we're here to play. Basically, we're working. We're on a job. We're here to play our music. And I certainly don't think of it that cynically, because I do love what I do. I love music. I love music fans. I love interacting with them and all that it entails. But because, we're here and, you're dead tired and you have half the day, you spend sound checking, setting up, and then you do the show all night. And by the time you're done with it, all said and done, it's early morning and you're dead tired and you just want to sleep. But what we said was, you know what? We'll sleep when we're dead. We're in Hawaii. Let's just get out there and burn the candle at both ends. We'll do our show, and then we'll go straight to the beach, and we'll just stay at the beach and eat and do everything we want to do as long as possible. And, just check out the nightlife and hit the shopping and go to the restaurant, do everything we can do, just cram it all in, and we'll sleep on the plane on to the next destination, which I think in that case was a lot. We've been to Hawaii 2, maybe 3 times to play. And, I think Hawaii, we went to Alaska right the very next day. Talk about, night and day. Talk about a complete dichotomy. You had the, tropical paradise and then the winter wonderland.
That's insane. That's insane.
But we crammed it in, we lived it. We did it rock star style, man. We no sleep. Sleep when you're dead.
Exactly, right?
Plane, exactly. Man. Let's just do this.
Everybody was complaining about it before, and now people were like, I would kill to be out there doing it right now. Like literally murder my fucking own blood, right?
I'll say this. I've never, ever complained on a tour. I've been on hundreds of them since 1990, even since before that, since high school. We were doing mini tours in Panama, and, we call them the Transismian tours, where on Friday night we would play on the Pacific side of the country, the Isthmus. On Saturday we would play the Atlantic side of the Isthmus, and then come home Sunday and our Transismian tour. We did both sides of the country.
Wow.
So I've been touring since '92 and never complained once, because like Paul Stanley once said, if you're lucky enough to win the lottery, right, and do what you love to do, why are you going to complain about the taxes, right? I mean, you understand that every good thing comes with a cost.
Exactly.
So,
let's let go on the show last week that Paul Stanley always wanted to ride naked on a horse across Brooklyn Bridge, right? And I'm just thinking, be an epic painting, but I don't know if I'd want that in my brain forever, would you?
I met Lips. We played together when they came into town. We played in a town in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area named North Richland Hills. I forget the name of the venue, but we played there together. And their, I think Rob and their merch girl and road manager, I forget her name. I forget her name. Very unusual name. But they said, hey, why don't you guys join us on this tour? Come with us. Do the rest of the tour with us.
They're just that. They're just so on, right? Yeah,
they're great. They're cool. And one of the interesting things is my drummer, my ASKA drummer, and one time CLOVENHOOF drummer, Danny White, who also played with me in Omen when I was a singer for Omen.
Oh wow.
He was in a band that did a European tour with Anvil. And right around that time, in fact, it was at the time when they filmed that documentary.
Oh, wonderful.
And he did that tour with them, and that's where they met. And so a few years later, ASKA was playing Rocklahoma, and Anvil was playing there as well. And Danny, he goes, yeah, man, I toured with these guys. And we're like, Danny, they're not going to remember you, dude. You know, they've toured all over. They know And Danny's like, no, man, we were tight. We were cool, man. And so we walked in, we were backstage there at Rocklahoma in one of the hospitality deals. And there's Rob and Lips. And Danny walks in and he goes, hey, guys, hi, Lips, hi, Rob. And they looked at him and they go, Danny White, this guy in metal. And Danny goes, you see, they remember me.
That's awesome. So you have to come on, because I mean, I can't even count now how many people have played with him, opened for him, or like know him, and he's so shocked every time. It's like all my friends have either opened or know him, and he's like super impressed every time. He's like, wow, right? But I think just one of the most positive influences ever of never giving up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never ever giving up, and that's what I think it's all about.
After it, he's put out a lot of great music, and hats off to him. He's clearly a true lover and purveyor of metal. Gotta love that, man. And I'm gonna line it up. I'm gonna set it up with you so you can get Danny White on your show with Lips, so they can talk, because Lips would immediately.
Why don't you both join me? It's multiple people like this on Zoom with Lips.
See, well, that's the thing with multiple people is it gets, everything you want to say kind of gets lost in the shuffle. And I've got so much to talk about on my plate, so many bands that I'm in, Banshee and CLOVENHOOF and ASKA, that I would get lost in multiple people, or I'd feel like I'm hogging the interview.
You know what? It's really hard for me to try and be the person that's like, wait a minute, this is my show? What the hell? Right? And keep like control of it all. But it really does run very smoothly, and it's so much fun. So, I mean, either one of you, let's do it. I think this week it's Jeff Summers from Weapon UK, which is also off Pure Steel. And I got to double confirm the other one, so I don't want to say for sure.
No worries. But, just hit me up. This week I've got 3 interviews. I've got yours today. I've got 2 on Thursday. So probably this week I'm going to be interviewed, but hit me up for like the following weeks. I know you do it every week, don't you?
Yeah, I only got him for an hour a week.
So yeah, maybe in one of the upcoming weeks, because we do have the new ASKA record coming up even though the COVID pandemic, laid a big black cloud on the world, we did manage to snatch a silver lining out of there, and we finished ASKA album number 7. It's complete.
Oh, wow.
All the recording is done, all major recording, and I'd say even minor recording is done. And what we're doing now is tweaking the mix.
Nice. When do you think that's going to be out, or officially out?
I'm not 100% sure on the day, because what we want to do is, we haven't turned it into a label yet. But we want to do is kind of wait till things are going to start opening up, so that if we put it out there, we can actually go out and support the record, not just throw it out there and let it die a slow death on the vine. Now, I'll tell you, we were lucky with CLOVENHOOF's, my latest with CLOVENHOOF, Age of Steel, which came out in April last year, April 2020, right, basically a month after COVID hit. Our album came out on schedule, and what happened to a lot of records that came out last year is, they died. They were unable to get any kind of tour support from the bands, and they just they kind of disappeared. They fell down the cracks, But we were lucky that Age of Steel, it seemed to take on a life of its own. The record,
Mm-hmm.
when the December came around and the year-end lists were being compiled by all of the industry critics and music fans and music journalists and whatnot, we found that our Age of Steel record was showing up on everybody's
Everything.
top 5, not just their top 10 and not their top 50 or top 20s, but we were consistently on just about everybody who's anybody's top 5. And we even made it to several journalists number 1.
Number 1. I remember posting that. You definitely deserve it. It's a killer album. A definite. Like, how did that feel though? Like,
it felt fantastic for me because I've been doing music a long time, and I've not had a number 1 on anybody's list ever.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that. It's all so good. It's all so good. It really, really is. Like,
I've made top 10s and top 20s, forever. I mean, for years, my bands have been in top 20s, top 10s, whatever. But to actually get number 1, number 2, number 3 consistently across the board on 80 plus music lists from fans, journalists, writers, DJs, whatnot. It was for me, overwhelming.
And whatnot is the American A to Canada's A, and whatnot. And whatnot. And whatnot. Nobody here says it. I miss it kind of, but you're so right. Like, I mean, and I'm very, very proud that I've actually discovered people on my own, I guess, and then watched other people find them, recognize them, and then they get acclaim. It's like, maybe I know a thing or two about stuff and such, right?
Well, you've got good instincts, Kelly. Clearly,
I think I do too. I agree.
I think you've got great instincts. You're a true rocker at heart. You push and you work harder than 8 out of 10 other music journalists.
Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah. Almost, yeah, it's literally like 24 hours a day. It's like if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, it's 8 o'clock over in Sweden. Someone's like, hey, what you up to? Check out what I do. I mean, it just does. Like, I could never turn Facebook off if I didn't want to, and it's wonderful. I'm so thankful for every minute of it. But I have to give credit, of course, to Bob Mitchell and Pure Steel. The whole label is incredible.
The label is incredible, and I love the guys that run the label. I'm very good friends with Andreas and Marcus and Volka and the guys. They've been ultra supportive since the day I met them. It was an interesting story because I met those guys in Germany at a show. They were there, and we met and we talked, and immediately they were like, we want to sign you. We want to put your records out for release in Germany and blah blah blah. And up to that point, our European labels have been Italian, and so we made the jump to the German label, and it's been great. The guys have just been, they're like brothers. They're good people.
Very select sound that they go for, a very high quality. It has the same feel. Yeah, definitely. But everybody that I've dealt with has just been professional and a lead in that regard, and that's rare as well. That's really hard to find too. But my other record label that I work with has been stellar. Want to tell you, I just can't yet. So I got some great news coming out very, very soon. Hopefully in the next couple weeks.
If the other label happens to be Century Media, have a chat with them, because the canceling artist thing to me is ridiculous in the extreme. And I'll address that really quick.
Yeah, please do.
Schaefer from Iced Earth was recently crucified because he chose to redress his government. He stormed into the Capitol building, bad boy. Well, you know what? For 1 year, almost a solid year in America, we've had riots, lootings, burnings, murders, all sanctioned by the state, all, basically all of it with the unspoken consent of one side of the aisle, and all because of, I mean, we've had autonomous zones, entire Walmarts and Targets looted empty, and all of that with the approval of mayors and governors across the United States. And nobody had a problem, and nobody was canceled. Now, since the day I first became aware of rap music, I was also aware of the culture that comes with it, which is the whole gang culture. So many of the purveyors of the music, the practicers of the genre, have been to jail, prison. They've been arrested for shooting people, murders, kidnappings, rapes, on and on. The salt. It seems to the rap culture, that genre, seems to be well steeped in that type of mentality, right? And no label in the world has ever canceled one of these artists, and well, they shouldn't. For me, I think musicians have always been, the more rebellious side of culture.
On the fringe, yeah, any artist, right? Exactly. Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, imagine the traveling bards of yesteryear in jolly old England, the early days of medieval Europe, when bards would go town to town with their lutes and playing for whatever coppers they could get from the bar and scoring whatever barmaid or bar wench they could that evening, and then on to the next town. This has always been the way of musicians. To sit there and start canceling them because they didn't follow the government's edicts and strictures, and that to me is preposterous. It's ridiculous, especially from a label. With the mentality that Century Media has taken against one of their artists, right or wrong, that we can debate that all day, what Schaefer did, whether it was right or wrong. But the mentality the label takes in attempting to cancel their artist,
right,
is preposterous. It's ridiculous in the extreme. Imagine if Sun Records had done that to Johnny Cash.
Now, I'm curious though, to cancel somebody. I mean, it's pretty much, doesn't it have to be an act of God or some like really extreme thing to be able to cancel your contract? Like,
I just don't think they should cancel anybody for anything. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, there are murderers, convicted murderers, ex-murderers that release records today.
That's true.
Who was the Charles Manson recorded albums from prison, and I mean, and they were released and made it out to the public and whatnot. Also, you've got R. Kelly, right? Pedophile, peeing on underage girls, whatever. All of it's out there. He's still a multi-million-dollar selling artist. No label has canceled him. Nobody. So when Century Media takes a stand against John Schaefer because he allegedly did something, be it right or wrong, what they're saying is that this particular criminal act we don't approve of, but all the others, the rapists and the murderers and all the other people on our label, the flag burners and the sister fuckers and whatever,
right? Yeah.
Pedophiles, we're cool with all of that. We're cool with all that. Just don't march into a Capitol building. Come on, Century Media. Come on. I mean, it's the most ridiculous stance I've ever seen from a label.
I agree.
Imagine if Motown had taken that stance with James Brown.
Wow. Yeah.
James Brown was a wife beater. James Brown was an alcoholic and fired weapons at his wives and his reckless driver. Imagine, what about Chuck Berry, who had a hidden camera in his restaurant in the women's bathroom, filming the ladies taking their panties off and doing their business in the bathroom? Who canceled Chuck Berry? Who canceled James Brown? Who canceled Johnny Cash? Who canceled Johnny Paycheck? And who canceled any Jim Morrison, Angus Young, pulling down their pants, being obscene, pulling out their penis on stage? They've been arrested. They've been jailed. Nobody has canceled these artists. Why? Because it's ridiculous to start, for a record label, to start being the moral
compass.
judge. Yeah, the moral compass or the moral, I'm going to judge this guy, but not all these other ones. It's unfair. And it seemed, and people see through it and they get disgusted by the double standard.
Do you think that's because, there's more access to media attention to things and like it would affect record sales one way or another if they didn't take a stand? I mean,
I don't think that at all. I think
well, it all comes down to them making a dollar, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Think like some of these artists I told you, Johnny Cash, Johnny Paycheck, David Allan Coe, Jim Morrison, Gigi Allen, Angus Young, Gene Simmons, where any artist that's been jailed, right? Axl Rose, the Motley Crue guys, Vince Neil, Razzle. Remember he killed Razzle in a car crash, manslaughter, while he was drunk driving. He went to jail. Everybody knew about that in our day. In my day, when I was high school, we all knew about these criminal acts and these things that had been committed, yet no label canceled them. Motley Crue didn't lose their record deal when Vince Neil killed Razzle from Hanoi Rocks in a drunken car crash and maimed and crippled another family in doing so.
Yep, I agree.
Why should they punish them legally, do whatever you have to do, fine them, whatever it may be that the law requires and entails for justice to be done. But for the label to cancel them is, to me, beyond ridiculous. And especially when you have magazines like Rolling Stone glorifying the Boston Marathon bomber with a full cover story, the guy's picture on the cover, doing a fluff piece on the dude, that basically paints him to be a good guy and just a misunderstood team from Azerbaijan or wherever. If they can do that and not be canceled as a periodical, why can't Century Media sell Iced Earth or Demons and Wizards or John Schaefer solo records or whatever it may be? It's okay. The market will decide if that's a good move to sell records or not. Nobody, and as it is, my local record stores that I've been into within the last week or two, they all have Iced Earth on the shelves. All of them. I've seen Demons and Wizards on the shelves. I've seen Iced Earth records on the shelves. And so how can Century Media, they've shut down the Iced Earth store. They're no longer listing any of their stuff for sale. And I think they're doing that to appease a portion of the population that have shown that they won't be appeased. You can't appease them anyway. Yeah, you can apologize. John Schaefer could do 10,000 mea culpas, get on his knees, beg forgiveness, promise not to do it again, and it doesn't matter. They're going to hate him anyway, because that's these little internet groups. That's what they do. If you look at an AC/DC message board, a KISS message board, just the open ones, YouTube, whatever, and there are so many negative comments making fun of them, making fun of KISS members, making fun of Iron Maiden, making fun of you could take metal and rock royalty and find people that are making fun of these guys. Anvil is another one. You'll find people all day and night, miles long, making fun of them. And yet when the concert rolls around, they're full. People are there. People go anyway. So is what we're reading online real, or what we're seeing in real life? Is that what's
right?
Real?
Exactly.
Because
yeah.
Me, I'll take what I'm seeing in real life. I'll take the attendance I can see and feel, and the people in the show, and the diehard fans and all that. I'll take that any day over some troll, some guy sitting behind his computer in his underwear with a bag of Cheetos in one hand and his soy latte in the other, and saying, "Oh, Angus Young looks like a dwarf," or this guy.
Yeah.
Kiss my ass, dude. Write what you will. It's not affecting anything, and all it's doing is, making that troll feel better and getting a few chuckles from the other like-minded, seaweed moss brains that are out there.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
This, we hate everybody. We hate everything. Let's make fun. Poke fun. But at the end of the day, I don't think it affects bottom lines, and I don't think it affects sales. I really don't.
Exactly. Yeah, I would have to agree with you.
Case in point here, I've been a very, very vocal person. Most of the guys in my band members, they're more reserved with their politics. They're more reserved with their things. I've never been a reserved guy, and yet here in 2020, we've got I'm enjoying the greatest successes of my life right now. That I've been more vocal than ever than prior. So
right.
What is it? Which is I realize there's some people out there. Oh, George called that guy. He's racist. He's conservative. He's a right winger. He's a fascist. He's this and say what you will. It's not affecting me, and it's not affecting my. And if it does, if that kind of cancel culture has an impact with some promoter or somebody, shame on them. Shame on them for trying to censor their artists and censor their artists and tell them what they can and can't say, can and can't do, can and can't be. Because I never got into playing music because I was the kind of guy that wanted to be told what to do. You know what I mean? If I want to be told what to do, I'll go back to working a 9-to-5 job. I'll go back to the rat race, so to speak, if I want to be told what to do and follow somebody else's edicts and orders. It's not my way. It's not my way. So I'll be damned if I'm going to come into rock and roll and have some overweight dude with dandruff and green teeth telling me, "Oh, you don't say this. Don't speak like this." How about you're hiring me for music, not for my personal thoughts, and I'm not telling you what you should say or think or do or whatever. So either let's do business or get out of the way and let's get somebody that wants to do business. Just like that I gave you in Toronto. That one band didn't want to play with us. It wasn't 2 minutes to find a replacement band. It didn't even take that long to find bands that didn't want to.
Yeah.
So you make your stances over foolish thing. And all that happens is you don't get seen.
Yeah.
You don't get seen. You disappear. You fade into the morass. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I know you were saying something.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I totally agree with you. I mean, I think it would be so hard to be unable to be yourself. Like if you were that controlled by a label that you had to worry about what you said or thought or did all the time, right?
Yeah. I have no interest in that whatsoever. Any label that wants to control me is not going to be a label that I'm on. I mean, it's just
and I think, and then yet they let some people get so out of control because it sells more.
Exactly.
Drugs, where they're addicted to harming themselves or self-destructive behavior. If it makes great music, fuck it, right?
Amy Winehouse, great example, right?
Exactly. And I dealt with this with a very, very big name, got a hold of him, and he's mentally ill. And I so could have taken advantage of that situation, right? But didn't. I mean, I think that it's a shame, artists are always, on that fringe of needing, I don't know. I don't want to say we're all crazy because that's not fair. We're not. You know what I mean?
We are a little unhinged. We are a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. Learning it is a common thread, definitely out there. But I mean, when do you throw your artist away? When do you give them a lifeline? And and how much responsibility do they have? And I think they have a great responsibility. If you launch somebody into superstardom and they can't handle it, I mean,
it's the story of that story has repeated itself time and again. We've all watched the implosions, live. Look at Britney Spears, Amy Winehouse, so many artists, Michael Jackson. I mean, so many artists that didn't go the distance. They couldn't. Kurt Cobain, that just imploded, fell apart. It all caved in on them. It's a shame. It happens. But you know what it does? Ultimately, it sells records for the record company. And Century Media, they should know that all this John Schaefer attention, it's only going to sell records. Okay. And it blows my mind. How does anybody outside of the USA even give a shit that John Schaefer is trying to redress his own government? He's not sitting there going, the German government sucks, like so many people do with our government, or our politics. I mean, so everybody weighs in on American politics, and we're supposed to be cool with it.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, and yet, if we weigh in on our own politics, then they want to cancel this guy. Oh, let him. It's his right as a citizen to do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
If it's illegal, he'll pay the price. If what he did was legal, he'll go to trial and he'll pay the price, the cost of that. And if what he did, if he goes to trial and they find that, hey, okay, you're okay, blah blah blah, then he gets off and he's home and he's doing records and whatnot. And all of that attention, all of that spotlight, just sold him more records. So,
one way or the other, yeah.
You would think, right? But what are you gonna do? It's crazy times we're living in. I've never seen it like this in my lifetime, but it's not gonna change me. And I'm certainly I'm not interested in bowing down to flavor of the month, or
has it affected your music? Like, have you written any songs about what's going on? Have you,
we had one on the last CLOVENHOOF record on Age of Steel. We had one called Apathy. Listen to the lyrics and you'll kind of get a taste of that. I think that was brilliantly written by CLOVENHOOF founder Lee Payne. A perfect assessment of what's happening in Western societies across the board, across the globe.
Agreed.
So yeah, give Apathy a listen, and you'll hear our take on social issues today, without getting preachy. Because again, the politics that I adhere to in my life, I'm not necessarily saying that everybody needs to adhere to them or needs to follow what I say or forget you. No, man, you're free to think whatever you want, whatever you like, vote for whoever you want. That's the American way. That's the American way. Telling somebody they can't vote for this guy because his mindset, because he's a racist, or he's a this, or he's a that, or he likes or he eats babies in a cereal bowl. Whatever, man. That's not their place to say. Some people love Aleister Crowley, right? The Satanist. Some people are Church of Satan. I've had friends, Church of Satan. I've had band members. I mean, whatever, man. To each his own. As long as, again, and the cardinal rule that I live by, as long as it doesn't affect, and I said it before, I'll say it again. It's worth mentioning again so that people can cement it in their heads. As long as it doesn't affect my life, as long as your stances don't affect my life, my liberty, and my pursuit of happiness, we've got no problem. The minute that they do, the minute you're trying to cancel me, you're trying to destroy my pursuit of happiness, you're trying to shut down my life, that's when we have a problem. That's how that works.
I think that's pretty fair. I think that's pretty solid. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
For everybody, it'd be great if they could, but some people are too busy telling others how they should be, how they should live.
It's funny. You guys have freedom of speech, quote unquote. We actually don't.
Yeah, that's a shame. Neither do they in England.
Right. So very carefully, we could be, sued for slander on things, right? It's very
we're not disparaging anybody, so they wouldn't sue us for that. But
no, but we don't have this freedom of speech, which Americans all claim to hold so dear, yet don't allow the other person to have it.
And that's where the disconnect comes in, right? Because how can you be proud of freedom of speech and brag about that as this is a constitutional right in our country that we have, and no other, few other countries guarantee that in their constitution. We have this, and yet you want to try to shut down somebody else's speech. Anybody can say anything that they want to, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm of the opinion, I take it, one step further, where some people want to have limits on free speech, things you can and can't say. I'm like, whatever. It's all speech is speech. We're not protecting your right to say, I love flowers. Flowers smell wonderful. That's not what free speech is for. Free speech is specifically designed to protect unpopular speech, socially unacceptable speech, things that nobody likes, nobody wants to say, that people hate, that makes people angry. That's the speech we're protecting.
Right.
And can you imagine comedians without free speech? The only thing funny would be that anybody would go to a show like that, because it's all limited. The topics are limited. They can only say stupid. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't make fun of this. You can't make fun of that. You can't talk about this.
We'd all be going to see Seinfeld, it'd be very boring. Yeah.
Those comedians have stopped touring college campuses, university campuses, because of the woke culture. They're done with it. They everything is offensive to them. And you know what? People like that, man, people that are offended by everything, that read too much into everything, they want to control your thought and your thought. I'd rather just not even have those people as fans. I mean, whatever. I don't care. It makes no difference to me. I mean, if
it
they
should really be about the music, right?
It should be about the music. And if it becomes about, hating me because I think differently, then stay home. Stay home.
Stay home.
Seriously. I mean, it's not going to break me one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, it's the opposite of like a statement like Tommy Lee of Motley Crue said, where he said, anybody that's a Trump supporter, unfriend me now. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, you know what? Biden supporters, friend me. Duda supporters, Merkel supporters, whatever you support, friend me. Satanists, friend me. Jesus Christ worshipers, friend me. A Muslim, Allah worshiper, friend me. I'll take them all. They're all welcome. All are welcome on my page, bar none. All are welcome to friend me, follow me, come to my shows, listen to the music. I don't care what their politics are. I don't care what they worship, what they think, what they do, as long as they offer me the same courtesy. I want the same courtesy.
Right. And, solid people are just kind of hard to find. You know what I mean? Like, it's just truth, right?
Every day I blame it on the education system that has been dumbed down beyond belief,
Yeah.
They can't formulate arguments. They can't debate. They can't point to Spain on a map.
Or Canada. But also, yeah, I think we're oversensitive, that's for sure. But also at the same time, we're over shocked. Like, how hard is it to have shock value anymore?
Yeah.
To come up with something new. Yeah. Like, how can we both be so sensitive and so desensitized at the same time? It's a fucked up day and age to try and create.
It's weird. Imagine. It's definitely a weird thing to because I mean we're in a culture that have watched live beheadings on the internet. We've watched
exactly
people being drowned in cages, burned alive, all these things. We are desensitized. The internet has made us the worst pornographic acts imaginable that you wouldn't dream of somebody doing to your daughter, your grandmother.
It was only a little while ago that metal was shocking as shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just wearing some eyeliner blew people's minds. You know what I mean? Made them cross the street. Like,
nothing's shocking anymore. Nothing shocking.
No, and yet we're so sensitive if we even try. Like, it's like
I think people are trying to find something to be offended over. They're looking for things.
Oh yeah, we're just so frustrated. It's like we're so, I don't know. And then and try to create something original to entertain people with, or to make art on. It's really challenging.
It's nobody, nobody ever said it would be easy. Life, music, the pursuit of wonderful things, the things that bring you joy. I think if they were easy, everybody would do it.
That's true. But do you think it was better in, decades past, or do you think it's better now?
I think life is good every day. Life is good in the past. Life is good today, and the way I live my life will be good tomorrow as well. I just,
Oh, that's a great
life
way.
is good. Life,
That's a
life
great way to think
is
about
a great thing, man. I'm thankful to be here. I almost died at childbirth, so
it. Oh,
I
wow.
view every day as a gift. I mean, and with a terminal illness, I'm sure that
Every day is a
every
gift.
day is a gift, and you're happy to be here, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
so I mean,
Um, and I've been very, very worried that I wouldn't be able to give back in time to do, to repay all the amazing things that all of you have done. So very, very soon, hopefully that will come all about, and you'll hear some great stuff. Be able to give back and share this story really far, because I think what each person has done is amazing one-on-one, but also as a whole, it's got to be the best story in fucking music history.
yeah,
The
yours.
amount of people, right? The amount of music, the amount of good music, the amount of good people, it just imagine one epic fucking month-long show of all this music. It just like, I want to do it.
Music is what makes us go. It's what makes us get up and go. It's what
Mhm.
makes us move. It fires me up. I mean, I've been listening to music since I was a kid. I don't think it'll ever end.
Mm-mm.
Um, it's a
Mm-mm.
thing I'll take with me to my grave. The people I'm closest to in this world are other people that I make music with or that enjoy music as well.
Mhm.
And, I find people that don't like music odd. I find them strange creatures, and I've met a few
Mhm.
that don't
Mhm.
listen. No, I don't like music. Wow, really? That's
They
just so
spend all their
rude.
time playing video games and masturbating. That's those people, right? I mean, what?
Hey,
I mean,
whatever floats your boat, but I mean, music is that's the spice of life for me, man.
it
That's
so
no
is.
imagine a steak with no seasoning. That's a life without music.
Exactly.
Steak. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're a vegan. I don't know. I'm a
No.
meat. I like a good steak, and well seasoned and made just right. That's perfection.
Yeah,
So,
steak is where it's at for sure.
but imagine just a dry steak, no seasoning, no flavor. No, man, that's not even. That's a waste. It's a waste of
Living and sustaining, right? Living and sustaining, two different things,
living
right?
well. Living well, living good. Um, enjoying your life, making the most of it, doing some people they ask me, man, how can you be in that many bands or whatever? It's like, man, because I mean, I realize my time on this earth is finite, and I want to leave as much as much of a musical legacy as I can. I want to make as much music and leave it behind for my children, my grandchildren, and the
Mm.
generations that follow, and the people that enjoy it to have and listen to and say, man, these guys were good. Just as I do with the people that have passed that I loved and listened to. Mark Rial from Riot, for example,
Mm.
loved his work. A longtime follower of Riot from the early days to present, and he may be gone now, but his music still gets played with me. I still listen to the guy on the regular. Eric Carr from Kiss, still
Mhm.
listen. A regular featured musician in my stable of artists that I listen to, and though he's left the Morning Coil, he's still with me musically because I listen to the guy on a
Yeah,
regular.
that makes
So many
sense,
artists.
actually.
Bill Wynot from Thin
Yeah.
Lizzy, big hero, and
Wow. Yeah.
I've got all the records, all the stuff, and I listen to them religiously. And he may not be here, but he nonetheless is here.
Is
He's
here.
here.
Yeah.
He's here. He's here. So
And
that's
that's all, and that's what it's all about, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, some 10-year-old kid picks up your music and goes, "What the fuck?"
this guy was
Changes
great.
their life, right?
This was cool. I really like this. That's all you can hope for. That you rocked somebody else as much as you enjoyed being rocked. Um, Man, what greater thing in life? That's my mission. And thus why I just finished the ASKA record, just finished recording that, And immediately my feet are wet again. I'm in the studio recording the new Clovenhoof, the follow-up to Age of Steel.
Yeah.
So
And I say it all the time. If there is such a thing as angels, it is definitely musicians, because I mean, it's therapy
we're
to the
angels with
world.
horns,
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. But I mean, definitely a divine, special creature that, you don't understand why you do it or where it comes from. You just have to do it. And it's almost like it's been chosen for you. And the world would be lost. Think if we never had the Beatles, or we never had, some of the
Yeah.
greats, right? How important music is to our culture, our psyche, our healing, healing from war, healing from hard times, healing from this. It's going to come in massive, massive healing quantities when the pandemic is over. Just think about all the music that's going to come out. It's going to be.
It's weird that, there's something about music that connects with your inner being, in multiple ways. A sad melody can touch you emotionally in a, where you'll feel grief, you'll feel tears, you'll feel, and then maybe an aggressive song really gets you on there. Yeah, oh, this is badass. You really want to tear something up. Music is just like the most cathartic thing on the face of the earth, as far as I'm concerned, because it can make you feel, it can enhance your feeling. It can be the soundtrack to whatever it is you're feeling. It can evoke emotion. And I think more so than, like sometimes you'll smell something, say an apple pie or a perfume on somebody, you'll think of your grandmother or your mom or when you were a kid, and a scent can evoke an emotion or a place and time in your life. Well, music does that tenfold.
Yeah.
I mean, viscerally, for those of us that love it, I guess, or else it wouldn't resound so profoundly with us. I think there's just something about music that really gets us at our core. It touches us and moves us to the point that, man, just got to have this. It's
And once everybody comes together in a live event, it's like you're the same person for that one moment in time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like everybody is of the same, goo, like experiencing the same thing with the same heart. And it's like, oh man, I just miss it so much. I want to cry right now. It's just, it
can be, live music can be a very communal experience when, in front of an audience, but it can also be very personal. Like, I often will just listen to music, records, CDs, whatnot, by myself. I'll sit there and it, because I love it. I enjoy it. The sounds move me, the words move me, the melody moves me, or the aggressiveness of what I'm hearing moves me. I mean, but I think we all come to music to be moved, to experience something. Same reason we watch movies, to be entertained, to hopefully the best movie, the movies we rate as wow, that was great, that was a phenomenal movie, I love that movie, are the ones usually that touch us in some way emotionally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sad, happy, scared, whatever it may be. But the ones that manipulate our emotions are the ones that we love the best. I think it's the same with music. The same with
you're right. Yeah.
With people as well. The people that we love best or that get to us the most are the ones that manage to somehow tweak us emotionally,
And I think it's an amazing art form that you can write something and actually have millions of people feel the same way, understand it, feel the same way, have their life changed by it, accept it. Like, that must feel unbelievable. Maybe not.
I don't think I expect millions.
But I mean, even if it's 5 people, I was just going to say that, even if it's 5 people where, they take it into their actual being, but I mean, to affect hundreds, thousands, millions, whatever. I mean, what a powerful
tool. To move people. Yeah, it's that is one of the it's a gift, and like you get that from great orators, poets, authors.
It's much harder to do as a
musicians.
visual artist. You know, you probably have to die before you actually anybody cares about your paintings or whatever it is you do. Yeah,
Unfortunately, it's people
right.
away.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I think music is pretty special that way, and I mean, it goes back right back to tribal interactions and being able to do out of body things just from the beating of drums
Mhm.
and communal experience of other people and their energy together, right? Like
Yeah,
music is a very very powerful thing, and yeah, I'd be very very sad to think what the world would be like without it, or if it
it
was
would be
completely
dismal.
controlled.
It would be dismal, sad, and a world
Yeah.
without music. Forget it. I don't know. I mean, that'd be one where I'd wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, it's me."
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man, if I could cope at all because I often say silence is deafening. I can't handle nothing.
Yeah, I'm saying I love me. I mean, I gotta have music playing.
Yeah,
You know,
it's constant.
I love music. I love to play.
Sorry,
I love to be
neighbors.
around it. See, I mean, I love to. I mean, I need it around me one way or the other.
Oh
So,
wow. Do you
but
name your guitars, by the way?
no, 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 I don't name them. The names are what they are. This one is a BC Rich. Warlock. USA '80s model. Um, the other one I had there that I showed you a second ago was my Gibson. But I don't give them names. Some people are crazy like that. Oh, this
Yeah,
is your.
yeah, yeah. I saw it on the show last week. Everybody laughed. It was quiet for a second. It was like, yeah, I do it. Yeah, I do it. Yeah, I do it too. Right. But
But I
of
don't name them,
course,
but I love them. I love my
of course, of
instruments,
course.
and I love to play them. I love to look at them. I enjoy
Which
them.
is your favorite?
Oh man, I don't know. Like they say, father loves all his children equally.
I was
You
just
know,
thinking it was a Nigel moment, don't you can't look at it, right? Are you gonna show them all to me, right?
no, but no, I love. I mean, if I own it and I've kept it for years, typically it denotes for me that it's a good guitar. So I mean, I like them all. Some get more usage than others. Mainly when I play guitar. The only band that I'm in that I play guitar with is ASKA, where I
Mm.
play guitar and do lead vocals. I do the double duty thing, and they're usually live. In the last 15, 20 years or so, my main onstage acts is Gibson 67 reissue Flying V,
Oh wow.
um, made in the 90s, I believe. So
So
that's
does
my
the
main.
outfit go around the guitar or does the guitar go around the
Sometimes,
outfit?
sometimes, did you notice that? Did you see
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
So I've always enjoyed that color scheme, black and white. That's always been my favorite color scheme. So the vast majority of my guitars are white with black
Mm,
trim,
mm.
and some are black and white, and then very few, are colored. Have a color to them. But I love the whole black and white. Kind of like Michael Schenker, like that. His black and white color scheme. I love that scheme.
I've noticed that I've gotten purple with my hair, which means I can't really wear any other colors because that's way too much fucking color. Right? It's black and one color, right? Black, white, and
Yeah.
one color. That's how it's been for 25 years. I can't fucking wear pink too. What the hell?
Well,
Right?
even though, but I think pink could complement purple.
I
Because
know,
they're
but it's a no, man. I'd walk by the mirror and be like, that's wrong. That's just wrong, right?
yeah.
Um, but yeah, um, I think we're probably actually going to be cut off here in a few seconds. It just
Okay.
actually cuts off. So, is there anything else you wanted to mention?
Just I want to thank anybody that's listened this far. Stuck with us. I know that long form
Rambling on.
reviews tend to lose viewer. We live in a culture that wants everything now, here, and fast. We want sound bites. We don't want long, drawn out interviews. But some people do listen to full length. So anybody that stayed with us this far, thank you for listening. Also, I want to thank all the metal fans that have supported the first of all the genre, traditional and true power metal and whatnot. Metal in its purest forms. I love you guys for helping keep that music form alive, and more specifically, the fans that have been supportive of my career and the bands that I'm in and that follow the various acts that I've worked with, that I've done guest appearances for, that I've sang with, and I want to thank all of them for for following and for being supportive of what I do and being there year after year, decade after decade. I mean, like I said, I've been doing this since high school, and here we are, 2020. It's been, years, it's been decades.
I don't like counting those years. I don't, right? It's impressive.
It ages us, right?
Yeah, I know. It's impressive, but it's like, ooh.
But it just shows you that, my buddy John Perez of Solitude Eternus said, one time I was talking to him and he goes, the thing about us, we are lifers. We're the real deal. We're in this thing. We're in it for life. This is what we do, and nobody's going to take this away from us. There's other people that got into rock and roll because they thought, well, this beat's working. And then they realize how hard it is. And then they're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm just going to go get a job because this takes too much work and effort and toil. It's not a lot of people, they just see you're on stage and play the guitars, and you got the hot girl on your arm. That's all they see. They don't see all the work that comes with it and that it's a risk every day. You're taking a major risk. But it's my contention, if you've got the goods, if you got the talent, and you work hard and you stay after it, you can succeed. You can have a modicum of success doing what you do. And certainly fame, infamy, whatever, it's there. People know who you are. People want your picture. People want your autograph. People want to know you. And those are all part of the spoils of doing and pursuing the thing that you love, And it's all.
Do you have any advice, for somebody who might be just starting to experience that? Like, it's overwhelming. Like, how do you stay?
My advice is make sure you got the goods. Make sure you're good. And if you're not, strive to get better every day. Strive to do what you can to be good. And the best way to do that is record yourself. Just record yourself. Video yourself. Record yourself on your phone, whatever, and listen back to what you're doing. Make sure that you're on target, on point. Because as we've all seen with these talent shows, American Idol, X Factor, all those type of shows, you get people that come on there that are 100% deluded and have no business attempting a career in music, right? They can't sing, they can't dance, they can't play. Whatever it is they're trying to do, they're horrible at it, and yet they don't seem to realize it. Because
we wouldn't have Gangnam Style.
Yeah, Gangnam Style. Well, we
would not have that without. They did unfortunately make him think he was good, and that was even sadder. Like, for a while, he thought he was a rock star, right? Oh, poor thing.
I think he was a rock star for a while. He was. The Gangnam Style had like the biggest. I think it was like the most viewed video. It might still be. So, who's to say? Clearly, the Chinese outnumber everybody on this planet. And
I know, but they did kind of make a joke of him, and then it's okay. You made money, right?
Gangnam Style, that guy, or are you talking about William Hung?
Oh, wait, maybe that is who I'm talking about. William Hung. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because
you're right.
That guy, he was like, he was the shebang.
Shebang. Yes. Yeah. So, if you're willing to throw yourself out there, maybe you'll get noticed if you're not that good either. It just takes so much balls. It does.
You got 15 minutes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Did you know that one of our CLOVENHOOF guys was on one of those shows, and he got his 15 minutes. His name's Joseph Whelan.
How far did he go?
He went pretty far. He got to LA. He was on that British X Factor.
Oh, wow.
Ticket to go to LA, and he went one round in LA, and then they sent him home. But his videos his view counts on his videos on the X Factor far outnumber. You could combine all of my band's view counts and all that, and one video of his outdoes all of everything CLOVENHOOF, ASKA, BANSHEE has ever done put together.
I look up the weirdest things, I'm trying to promote these shows are incredible. They're getting like 30 hits, right? And yet, I love the Spoon Lady, but I mean she has 45 million views on one song. Like, how do you do it? Like, what?
It was silly. And like I said, we live in the disposable pop culture, that just it's that consumer market.
It is.
That
it
eats
is.
it, chews it up, and spits it out. And next, give me more. What's next? And so, you've got your long timers, the things that are true and that people know they can go back to year after year. But a lot of the stuff that pop culture gets behind year after year is very interchangeable, extremely disposable, and most of it isn't here in 2 years' time, let alone 5 to 10 years.
Right.
It's a period. So,
do you think that the age of like the iconic lifelong, band is ever going to come back? Like that kind of.
Absolutely.
You do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it exists today. I think it exists still. I mean, are there new artists that are being worshipped in that fashion? Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But they're far and few between, and maybe not necessarily in the genres that we would prefer them to be in.
Yeah.
They're not traditional metal. But yeah, I mean, if our kind of music ever becomes mainstream, yeah, there could conceivably be, that kind of rock idols. I mean, as it is, I mean, look, I make no illusions. I'm a small scale. I'm on the pecking order of metal. I'm small scale. I've made my mark, but I'm small potatoes when you get down to it. And yet, oftentimes when I'm in Europe or when I'm in wherever Central America, when people meet me and they go, oh my god, oh, can I get a picture of you? You are George Cole, right? Yes,
Wow.
And so I can only imagine it on a bigger level,
mm-hmm.
On like a James Hetfield level or a Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons level, Geddy Lee level. Those guys must really get it in space. Bon Jovi, those guys must really get it, because I mean, if small guys like, like the bands I'm in and the smaller, the B and C bands, if we can get that kind of fan emotion and appeal and fan worship,
mm-hmm.
and I know, I mean, it just must be through the roof on their level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. That's part of entertainment culture. When you move somebody emotionally, they're going to be yours. I mean, they're gonna like you, and they're gonna seek you for more of that movement.
Mm-hmm.
I say emotion doesn't just mean crying. That also means like, yeah, this
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
When you move, they're going to come back looking for more of that movement from you, and hope that they can get it. And if you're good, and you know your audience, you'll deliver time and time again. And, that's how it goes. But so anyway, so yeah, thanks to the fans, thanks to the supporters. Certainly, thank you, Kelly, for
staying on for everything.
I know sometimes I'm hard to get a hold of. Sometimes because I'm in so many bands and I'm recording. Like we spent most of COVID recording the new ASKA record, and once you lay down the tracks, it's me and Keith Knight, my bass player, the only other guy in ASKA that's been there since album number 1. After we lay down all the main tracks, then we sit down together and we start going, okay, does this work? Let's do this. Let's change that. Let's add this. Let's tweak it like this. Raise that level. Lower this. It's he and I put in the hard work that goes into all the mixing and the decision making on the what else happens to the music and what else we should do to it, what we should change. So we spent a lot of time doing that, and
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of ancillary requests get kind of pushed to the side, like interviews and whatnot. But right now we've wound that down, and we're on a little downtime with the new CLOVENHOOF because Keith just moved, and thus his studio moved with him because we record out of his wherever he's at. He's got a home studio, night recording. So he just moved now, and so I've got time, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I've got all interviews scheduled this week because I'm wide open. So but always thanks for asking, and a pleasure talking to you again, Kelly.
It's been a pleasure, man, and can't wait to do some stuff with you in the future. And if you got anything you want to share, just drop it on my page for sure. Spread it around.
I always, whenever I see your stuff, I try to make a point of liking it, and because you'll tag me and I'll add it to the page so people can see and hopefully get involved. And so all good, man. And thank you for supporting the metal.
All right, yeah. Well, it's an honor to do so always. So take care, keep it metal, and just be safe, man.
Always, Kelly. Thank you, man.
Right. Thank you. All right, bye.